What is up, everyone on YouTube? I'm just here in my garage with my bicycles. And first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for subscribing. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think we were going to get to 200 subscribers. It actually blows my mind that my channel is this interesting to 200 people, enough that they would subscribe. So I really thank all of you guys for subscribing. And because of that, because we hit 200, I'm actually going to give away a free Spotify membership for 1 year. So just put a comment down below. I'm going to pick one person. It doesn't have to be about the Spotify. You can, anyone who comments on this video down below, I'm going to pick one person. And I'm going to give them a year of free Spotify premium. Because, you know, we hit 200 and I thought it would be something nice to do. We also gave away some stuff on Instagram, so if you haven't already done so, follow me on Instagram where I do giveaways there, and I mostly just post fun stuff about my day. So this video is a little different. I actually wanted to make this video for the physics 1234 because he sent me a message 4 months ago, but I totally forgot. Like I answered it in my head, but I didn't actually send the message back, and I feel bad. So I wanted to make this video for you. So this question is a common question that actually occurs, not to me personally, but that I always see in a lot of dating advice, pickup groups all the time. And this is the question of juggling or being involved in multiple relationships versus being in single relationships. Now that's not the actual question, but this is an underlying philosophical debate that often happens in the pickup community. Now let me read the actual question here. The physics 1234 asked me, Richie, I have a question for you. I just found this cute girl and we went out a few times. I like her, but I still want to go out and meet other people, including women. I have a conflict with meeting other women with the possibility of an intimate relationship when I already have someone who I'm kissing. On top of that, the girl I am with seems very vulnerable, and I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt her if I go out and get numbers from other women. Pickup is a sport where you handle multiple intimate relationships with or without sex at the same time. How do you handle that without getting people hurt? How do you let go some girl that you had an awesome time with? How does that exactly happen? How do you sleep with someone and then go find someone else? So super dope question, and I think this has been debated in online between men, pickup groups, dating advice forums since the beginning of time. Ever since that men could communicate our ideas with each other, I think that this has been the subject of much debate. The physics 1234 asked me, Richie, I have a question for you. I just found this cute girl and we went out a few times. I like her, but I still want to go out and meet other people, including women. I have a conflict with meeting other women with the possibility of an intimate relationship when I already have someone who I'm kissing. On top of that, the girl I am with seems very vulnerable, and I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt her if I go out and get numbers from other women. Pickup is a sport where you handle multiple intimate relationships with or without sex at the same time. How do you handle that without getting people hurt? How do you let go some girl that you had an awesome time with? How does that exactly happen? How do you sleep with someone and then go find someone else? So super dope question, and I think this has been debated in online between men, pickup groups, dating advice forums since the beginning of time. Ever since that men could communicate our ideas with each other, I think that this has been the subject of much debate. So the best thing I would say is just be transparent. You know, don't try to hide anything, and don't be afraid to ask for what you want. So if what you want is, let's say you have a girl you're seeing and you don't want to have a close relationship, you want to actually have an open relationship and see other girls too, then don't just try to appease her by saying that now you're in an exclusive relationship and in the meantime you're doing all this shit behind her back. You know, it's 2017. People are pretty open-minded now, I hope. So you can just, you know, I wouldn't just drop the bomb and be like, yeah, I like you, but I'm gonna go, you know, fuck other women. There's tactful ways of doing this, and again, depending on who you're with too, you discussing this, they might be like, there's always that risk of them being like, you know what, I'm not cool with that. And at that point, you have to let them go because they said, you know what, this is not what I'm looking for, so I can't accept that. Again, relationships are not something that you can have control over because you can't control what other people do. You can only control what you do. So in terms of how do you handle multiple intimate relationships, you don't really handle them, to be honest. You just handle yourself. You just be straightforward, honest, and know what you want and be willing to ask for it. So if, let's say you're seeing this girl right now, but you want to see other girls, again, this is not something I would just bring up. It is something you're going to have to discuss at some point. She might bring it up or you might bring it up. Most of the time, you'll just be like, hey, what are we? Or she might be like, what are we? And at that point, you got to be straight up. You got to be like either, well, yeah, I like you and I want to date you exclusively. Or you could just be like, well, I like you, but... Actually, don't use the word but. But is very aggressive. Just say, I like you and I just want to see how things are... How I would say it is, I like you and I would like to continue dating you to get to know you better. But there are other people I'm seeing. Just be straight up about it. That's the best way to do it. Don't try to, you know, appease and cut corners and try to lie and avoid the conflict. Because when you tell her that, you're giving her that option of saying, you're giving her that choice, you're giving her that dialogue of the ability to say, you know what, okay, that's cool, or no, this is not for me. Now, the second part gets even crazier. So, how do you let some girl that you had an awesome time with go? So, how do you let go of people you had an awesome time with? Well, doing the pickup challenge, you get used to the fact that, and you kind of realize that you don't have control over people. Like, what people want to do with their lives is what they want to do with their lives. A lot of times we have these expectations of intimate relationships, whether we've actually been dating them for a month, just hooked up with them, or, you know, maybe just went on a date with them. We kind of feel entitled, like we're owed something, that, you know, I don't know, that you have like some sort of sway or influence over the other person. But this is simply not true. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you get to define the boundaries of that relationship. Again, a relationship means a fucking relation, you know, it involves another human being, and that's extremely dynamic. So when it comes to letting people go, you have to realize that you've never really had them in the first place. They were with you by choice because you were being attractive. Again, the word attractive is used because it's still up to the other person to move in and come closer to you. You're just attractive. You're not actually like, you know, when you're going and doing pickup or you're dating women, you're being attractive. You're not like fucking mind controlling them, okay? They still have that option of always saying no. And so how do you let go of someone that you've had a good time with or that you've had a relationship with? Well, just realizing that you've never really had them in the beginning. They were around, they openly chose to be with you, okay? And you can't force anyone to keep continuing to be with you. You can become more attractive, and you can better serve yourself and the other person. You know, you can do things and put an effort in the relationship to make that relationship even more mutually beneficial for both of you. But if someone chooses to leave the relationship, that's their decision, and you can try to, you know, have a dialogue with them. And I'm not saying that you can't try to convince them. Maybe sometimes people leave relationships for emotional reasons, and maybe sometimes not. But at the end of the day, it's their choice to either stay or leave the relationship. And I think this ties in with your first question. How do you juggle multiple relationships? And really, you have to give people that opportunity to, you as a man have to give the woman the choice to leave if she so desires. And you run the risk of that by being open with her and saying, hey, you know what, I want an open relationship. You're running a risk. It's a new, you know, it's like another, you know, when you ask a girl out or when you first approach a girl, like, hey, you're running risks. When you have that dialogue about whether you're going to be in an exclusive or open relationship, you're also running that risk. And our fear of running that, your fear and my fear our fear of why is it so scary to talk about that openly with another person is that they could reject you because of that. They can reject you and say, oh, you know what, this is actually not what I want. So in this case, it's not going to work for me. And this all ties together. So, and the last part is, well, you sleep with someone and you go find someone else. Yeah, it's like, okay, so you sleep with someone, you go find some, like, how do you do it? Sometimes, dude, it's not your choice. Sometimes you're gonna sleep with girls, and that's all they wanted. They just wanted to have a one-night stand, and you don't even have the choice of seeing them again. You can try calling them and texting them. You'll get no replies, and you learn the hard way in pickup that, oh, fuck, I actually have to, I have to deal with this. This is gonna happen. So in terms of, I mean, that's like an experiential thing that you may not relate to, but in terms of something conceptual that you could use, I would say that it ties into my first thing, which that, you know, you never really had people in the first place. I think if you go by that concept, it'll make things a lot easier for you to deal with. It'll make relationships easier to deal with. A lot of guys get into pickup or dating advice to gain more control over their relationships with women. You know, it's such a big part of your life. First of all, women are beautiful, and we fucking all love them. God damn, they're so freaking aesthetic. And the second thing is, as a society, we can't fucking keep going unless there are guys out there getting women and making babies. So it's a huge part of your life. And for a lot of dudes who are just coming in, it's super stressful too, because some people are like hard case newbies. They've never even been on dates. Or some people just have very limiting beliefs due to their upbringing. And other people have just had some bad past experiences, and that can negatively drag you down. So we come into this looking to gain more control over our lives by having control of our relationships with women. Unless you're gay, and then you come into this for control of relationships with other men or what have you. But the more you do this, you're going to have to actually realize that there really is no gaining control over the relationship or other people. It's all about gaining control over yourself. And you come to realize that, you know, these ideas and these concepts of, like, you know, juggling multiple women and, like, how do I get over this girl is not so much a question of the physical things or the external activities that are happening, but more of a question of how am I dealing with it? How do I deal with multiple girls? How do I deal with someone that I actually care about and that I might hurt if I, you know, say that, you know, I'm doing pickup or that I'm seeing other people? And the answer is that you don't. You just have to take the chance. You have to run the risk. You know, you gotta play the game, and you might not win. Winning defined by what you expected to get out of it. Like, if you go and tell this girl today that, hey, you know what, I really like you, but I do want to see other women, you're running that risk. You're playing the game. And she could say to you, you know what, that's cool, physics 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm not down for that. Or you could even or she could say, I'm totally down for that, you know. But you'll never know until you try. And my advice is, just be transparent. I've seen people do the whole cheating thing. It never really works out that well. And you'd be surprised, you know, if you're honest with people, they'll be honest with you too. And it's better to be honest straight up and find out things in the beginning than let it drag out, get negative, all that stuff. That's pretty much all I have to say in this video about your situation. I hope that can give you some clarity and insight into it. And dude, just keep going at it, because fuck, this is a lifelong learning process. And the more you kind of gain experience, the more you'll actually learn about yourself as well. I think that, you know, human relationships is one of the best ways for growth. And I'm only recently realizing that everything that people do is all about other people, right? So it's cool that you're actually doing this and that you're putting yourself out there. And it sounds like, you know what, you're actually getting a lot of success. There's a girl you're seeing, you know, kissing and stuff like that. So enjoy it while you can. So that's the video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want to win that Spotify, just leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be putting some more. I have more reviews and content that I'll be posting up, so be sure to hit that subscribe button over here or here. And if you enjoyed the video, if it was of some value to you, please like and share as well. That's me, Richie Rich. Peace out, everyone. As always, have a great day and live the life that you want to live.